What's going on, guys and gals? I'm going to do a review on a CZ83. These are unusual handguns in that they're a 380, but they're a double stack. They hold 13 in the magazines. Some sources say 12. I'm pretty sure it's 13. It does not say on the back. It's not marked on the back how many it holds. Kind of like a Walther PPK on steroids, I guess, is what you can say. Because it is a double stack. Similar to the Bersa Thunder 380 Plus, which is also a decent gun. I would say this one's a better quality, no doubt about it. It's a simple blowback design, how most of these 380s are, which is to say it's not a Browning tilting barrel design like you would see on most guns this day and age. These grips aren't original. A little bit about these grips before we get into the gun. I bought these, I think I got them off Midway USA. They look good. I mean, they really do. They look good. But the wood is the consistency of paint mixing sticks. It's not good. Like if you drop this or anything, you could almost push the wood in. They're about light as a feather. They're really not that good. They look good. Other than that, they're not great. This gun it's been safety checked, but it's double action, single action, but it's also got a safety. The gun can be put on safe. Pop it down to fire, or you can have it in double action, and then your second shot would go to single. You cannot decock it. There is no decocker, so the only way to decock it is by doing it manually in a safe way. If you're not comfortable with that, then you can just, once you fire your first shot, just pop it back up on safe. So you can carry it like a 1911, or once you load it, you can safely lower the hammer down. There's really nothing wrong with that. Just be careful, when you do that. Double action trigger is pretty smooth. A little heavy right there. Right there. But it's smooth. Single action, a little squishy. It's very squishy right there. Kind of don't know when it's going to break. Very squishy. But still not bad. It's not a target pistol. By no means, even though these are pretty accurate. Got a little bit of luminescent paint on there. Help that front sight stick out a little bit more. That front sight is really small. It's really thin. It's going to give you really precise aiming. You can see it's actually got a pretty good sight picture. Usually the smaller the front sights, the more accurate you could be when aiming at something. If you got too coarse of a front sight, I'm not a fan of that at all. See, it's a blued finish. This one is in pretty good shape. Right there, it's got a little bit of wear on the end of the barrel. I actually covered that up with a little marker, a little bluing marker. You can see it right there, in front of the logo. Got a little bit of wear on the grip. There's no stippling or anything like that. No texture. It's just smooth. Yeah. It's not a bad gun. They had these on Gunbroker. I think I got this one for, man, it was CDI sales, which they don't have any guns anymore. But they had these, man, they had hundreds of them. And you go through and you kind of pick out which one you like. Each one was listed individually, and you kind of see some of them were in better shape than others. I think I got this one for about 200, somewhere around in there. Yeah, I'd say worth every penny. Really, the only downfall of this gun is the magazines are expensive and they're hard to find. Sometimes you can buy them off a gun broker and stuff. You know, they might have 2 or 3 of them for sale at a time for $50-$60. That's usually the best way, because you could get them individually sometimes $40-$50 for just one. That's kind of ridiculous, but they're hard to find. They are hard to find. The magazines are hard to find. And this is a CZ. If we get that, there's a CZ model 83. 9 Browning is a 380. They also make these in the Makarov. I believe it's the Makarov round. Those only hold 12. These hold 13. So 13 rounds of 380 plus 1 in the pipe. That's 14 rounds. Excuse me. That's pretty good. In my opinion, that's very good for a 380. And it's a little heavy, but it feels good. It just feels really good in your hand. You got a lady, even somebody of smaller stature, I think would like this gun, even though it's a bigger grip, but it's still not that big. It's a simple gun to use. Like I said, once you rack the slide, then it'd be in single action. Just bounce it up on safety, and you're golden. Just like a 1911, take it off. If you want to put it down in double action, you can. Once you put it in there, you cannot put it on safe in double action. Not really sure why you'd want to anyway. It's got an ambi safety, ambi mag release, right there. Well, only one slide lock, slide release. It's only on one side, so it's a pretty ambi friendly gun. Truly is. Beautiful gun. With those wood grips, the grips that came on it, I don't have them. They're in the box somewhere downstairs. Just plastic, ugly grips. So I was looking for some other grips, and these were about $40. And they're not good quality at all. They've got some on eBay that may be better quality. I don't know. That way, these ain't real wood. Is all I can say. They look like real wood. They look good. The checkering on it is not real great on that. On the wood, it's just that pressed checkering. Kind of looks like a Marlin's checkering. You know how they got their checkering on their guns. It's not real great. These should have cost all of about $5. These sights can be removed. The front sight is pinned in place. If you see that little groove right there, you can knock that pin out, and they got, I think XS Big Dots makes sights for them, and then the back sight is dovetailed in. Honestly, the sights that come on these are pretty nice. You get some of this luminescent paint that I got here, this glow on. I supplied some of that. Get this off eBay. Get everything off eBay. It's glow on. Got that blue. Put some of that on there. I actually put some of that on my Beretta. You can see that front sight. I put some blue on the rear sights. See that front sight sticks out pretty good. Pretty dang good. It's a beautiful gun too. Another review there. The way this gun takes down is you pull down on the trigger guard, pull it back, pull the slide back, and it kind of lifts off. I'm not going to do it on camera. There's probably plenty other videos out there. I'm holding the camera with one hand. It's my phone actually, but it's just kind of hard to do that stuff. That's why I safety check the guns before I put them on camera, because I can't really rack the slides holding the camera in this without setting the camera down, and then you won't be able to see it. So. See how big the grip is. Let me show you side by side of the Beretta and that. You can see it's a much smaller grip than the Beretta. And the Berettas are kind of known for having bigger grips. So if you know how to grip on the Beretta fills, and it doesn't feel too big to you, then this one shouldn't be bad at all. I think this is probably my favorite 380 on the market. Well, they're not on the market anymore. I said CZ quit making them. The competition, definitely a Burst of Thunder 380 Plus. Which one would I get? Well, you're looking at it. This is the one that I would get. I think the Bursa holds 15. That's definitely a bonus. No doubt about it. 15 rounds. Honestly, though, probably don't need the extra couple rounds in most situations, so I wouldn't limit that to be your only factor when deciding between those two guns. What's the other one? The Beretta. Is it the Cheetah? 84? I believe they got, it's the 84 or the 85. One of them is a single stack, the other one's a double stack. That is also a nice gun. Very reminiscent of this gun. It's kind of, this gun in kind of this form. That's also a very nice gun. However, those run usually quite a bit more than something like this. These, you might be able to find these now for about $350, somewhere around in there. Man, if you can find one for $250, $225, it's in pretty good shape. I'd say grab it. I don't think you'll be disappointed with it. It's not a match trigger. Doesn't have night sights, but just overall, a defined gun. I think you can do a whole lot worse than it. It's definitely my favorite 380 on the market, within reason. The Beretta may be a little bit better, but it's also $700-800, and sometimes you can find those. That place I bought this from actually had a bunch of those, and I wanted to buy one, but I just never could pull the trigger. They were in a rougher shape than these, so I just never pulled the trigger on one of those, and I'm glad I got this one. It's an unusual gun that it's a double stack 380. Ambi. So that kind of makes it. I kind of envision this gun as, if you can find them cheap enough, like that place had them, they had them as low as $150 for rough ones. I kind of envision this gun as, you buy 4 or 5 of them and have them in your system of sidearms, in case your neighborhood, whatever, the SHTF situation. You got a neighborhood patrol or something, somebody needs, a handgun. I would kind of envision this gun in that role, where you could hand this out to just about anybody, that's qualified to use a gun, Obviously, you just don't want to be handing a gun to anyone, but that's kind of where I envision this gun shining, having 4 or 5 of them, because it's a 380, so it's easy to handle. It's a double stack, so the capacity is good. Not great, but definitely good for a 380. Most 380s are 7-8 rounds, so it's definitely good for a 380. Plenty of power, in that type of situation. And I believe these were police guns too. Some agencies, overseas, use these as for police issue. They're not quite as fond as for 9mm as we are. 40 and 45. They're kind of like the 380 guns, because they're easy to control. They're accurate. Not quite as cheap as 9, but it's coming down a little bit, I think. It's coming down a little bit. So anyways, I hope you like this. And, if you see one of these out there and you decide to get it, I'd say grab it. If you're thinking about it, I wouldn't hesitate. Unless it's overpriced. If you find one for $500, I'd say get one of those before you get one of these. You can find a good price on one of these and you're looking for a 380 double stack. Pull the trigger on it. You'll be happy. So anyways, I'm going to end the video here. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, let me know.